Hello, hello. How's everyone doing, guys? What's up, SK, Luna, Briggs? How are you guys? Gonna wait a little more
I just told him that
for some people to connect, and we'll go through the lecture. How was your day today, guys? Was the screen that you have on right now? It's the chart with Tesla, right? Just double checking. Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to go through this chart today, and the idea of the lecture today is just to see a little bit more, not only the short time frame that we normally use, but try to go into the 1 hour and the 4 hours, and look for those levels that when we have movements in the market like today's, are the ones that are going to tell us if there is a deep buying opportunity, and until which levels we might have to hold, or what our profit targets will be. And that's something that that's fine, Gabriel, no worries. I muted you temporarily just because your microphone was open too, Gabriel, so no worries. But the idea, guys, is just to see a little bit more of how do we analyze, like, from the 4 hours, how do we go to where are the places where we are at support and we should take a trade on, and until when, out of making our own levels, we should kind of hold that trade. And the idea is that not only we're gonna do some scalps, but as you may know, and if you follow any of my trades, I like sometimes to go through a little bit further times. So I like to swing for 3 to 4 days, or maybe a couple of weeks. We have done some on leaps. Remember, leaps are considered any investment that you do that it's going to be a long term. So that means a little bit more than 6 months to a year or longer. In movements like this, like what happened with today with Tesla, there's a lot of people that could have been, buying just shares here and try to see if we can go to 271 and to further highs on the day. I think, yeah, 271 so far is the highest of the year. So this is the daily chart. And one of the things that I'm gonna grab a little bit more time. I'm gonna grab let's say 4 years. And here it's where we can set like our all-time highs on Tesla at 414.5. And you see that little movement that we had here. It's where we know where we can set up, or what to expect for the upcoming year, and try to see if we're gonna grab, maybe uh, those leaps to try to see if we go to a further time or further price action on the upper side, or if we are about to reach a rejection level in any of these levels, and then try to play again for the flush. So that's something that is going to be that's going to be interesting. Positive but regret day. What's up, Byron? How are you? No, today was a good day so far. Can't complain about how the day went. I waited for the bounce on SPY. The thing is, I just got back from that travel that I told you guys, or some of you know, and I'm just getting used to my. For some reason, my setup was a little bit disorganized, and I needed to organize things again here. And I took Meta right at open today, and then I on the first 5 minute candles I sold it. Let's go. I'm just gonna go there for a sec. I grab this 1 5 minute Meta candle here, from this resistance on the 20 daily SMA. And then I waited for this and I went all the way down and I grabbed like 200% puts. But as I said, I'm a little rust right now on calling it right away. I haven't had my setup completely well set up, and I wasn't able to call it right away. So it's kind of like I got in and the plays already went, and I did not want to call it after the fact, because then there's some members then kind of they're not happy when the price already moved too fast. So
Yo, give me 1 second. I need to mute this.
scalping day.
Yeah, I just wanted to catch up on yesterday's meeting.
All right. Sorry, Chin. Your microphone was on, so I muted you, Chin. You're good now. Yeah, Skate, we can go to with the Apple. The idea is to go through all the setups that happened today and see how we can find future, like for example, if today at the end of the day we jumped into something because of the move, or are we expecting to go further down? Like, how do we know, like, where are we? Or how do we have, like, the initiative to try to jump into a play when we have this huge move and this huge flush on the downside, and where is the what levels, or what are we what do I look to enter a position for a longer term and try to see if we go back to the price action where we were. So I'm going to go back first to Tesla just because it had the earnings and it's going to be interesting to see how it opens tomorrow. So this is Tesla on the 5 minutes. Massive, massive, and beautiful move on the way up. I'm always curious if this is going to hold until tomorrow, because if not, it's not going to be the first time that we see a huge move on the afternoon of the earnings, and then any other information kind of goes out, and we have movements either higher or it goes all the way back to somewhere around here. So I at the last minute I bought one 237 call, just I'm gonna say it just for fun to see if I was right. And now I regret not buying like a 225 230, and I go a little bit heavier. I just got one. And it was literally when I'm still jet lagged. So for me, it's like 4 in the morning again. Remember, 3 in the morning. But I thought that, oh, what time is it? And I saw the little red clock at the top of the TOS, and I'm like, it was like 20 seconds. So I grabbed the first one that I saw. It was the 237, and I grabbed it. So not financial advice. Do not do that. Don't go buy something crazy like that. I just wanted to do it because I had the feeling that, with everything that is happening with Tesla, it was going to go up. And hey, that was luck. I did not analyze it. I just follow, a little gut there and say, let's see what happens. So normally, guys, when I go to the 4 hours, these lines that you see here, as I always say, my type of trade, I use the daily SMAs. Daily SMAs are gonna give on the different, in the 4 hours, on the all the days that we are looking at here, it's gonna give me where the price action is. So normally the blue one, and you can see it here, the blue one is the 20, 50 is my yellow, 200 it's my red, and the 100 it's my green. One of the things that I like to see most of the time is where is the price action happening, with respect of what's happening with those SMAs. And the other thing that I like to see is where are the crossovers? Like, look at the 20 went from going below the 50, it crossed the 50, it crossed the 100, it crossed All right. Sorry, guys. For some reason, my internet just broke for a second. And I'm back here. Can you all hear me? Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Yeah, perfect. It just went complete. I was talking to myself and I'm like, I don't know what happened. Look at this. Okay, so this is my normal chart on Tesla, and I will go through all the charts that I have here. That's what I wanted to show. And then this, I'm gonna use the clean one so you can see what's happening here. So in the 4 hours, look at this, guys. Where are we on the 4 hours? I'm just gonna draw, like, if we go, let's do some basic levels. This is the lowest. This is the highest on the 4 hour. Remember, if I go to the daily and I graph a little more time, I'm gonna graph 4 years. This is the all-time highs. All these peaks, I'm just gonna mark them because they are references of important highs, and I'm gonna leave it at this one. So when I go back to 4 hours or 4 hours, this is how this looks. So far we're here. We're not, we still have space to go probably to these highs here somewhere. And we have some support here where we bounced. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm not gonna go through all the levels that we need to draw normally. I just wanna show you what we're looking for. Look at this. Look at how we have resistance here at 213. We got support, sorry. Then we have this sort of inverse head and shoulders. And then we went up another sort of head and shoulders here. And then we kind of regain all these to 264. We revisited that price action that happened here, rejected it again, went all the way down. And where did we bounce? Twice. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 times at 213.61. So every time that I try, is my screen off right now? Ooh. Wait, hold on. There we go. Thank you, Ninja. Can you see it now? There you go. Perfect. Sorry about that. So I was I was drawing by myself. I was drawing, as I said, this is my normal screen with all my levels. And how do I get here? I'm drawing on a clean set, and I went all the way back to the daily, and I grabbed on my time frame, I grabbed 4 years because I wanted to have a clue where we are and what top levels are we watching. So probably these are, I'm taking every peak that looks pretty important, and now I'm gonna go back to the 4 hours. So this is where we are. Why do I want to look here before knowing what's happening? So look at how important this price action at 213.61 is. Look, rejection, support, it supported, and then we broke it. And now support, broke it, support, and support. So we touched like 7 times. And then where did we bounce? Right here again. Look at this right here, 213.61. So do I care about all these levels here right now? Well, if we were not having these earnings, maybe. But right now, since we have this huge push out of the earnings, I'm trying to see where my next levels are going to be. So I can, out of this, just watching the 4 hours, I might see, this is an important level. And we find this level here touching, a couple of times, and maybe this one here. So now that we have certain levels, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to see which ones are the one that they touch more often. Okay. And now the 4 hours, what do I'm watching? Like this was the perfect deep buy, right? If we were at 138 and this was this year on the 14th of April, this was the time to load shares or buy leaps. So after we changed this area where we're trading, we changed this area here. to this new area right now here. So you see how, it's really nice to see how the blocks of where we were trading change on the bigger time frame. The more that we zoom in, we're gonna see more of this block being more obvious. But right now, this is where we are. Where, like, whatever happened here before the earning was a perfect place to buy some shares, or if you wanted to risk it, and it was a very big risk because we could have flush all the way down here, you grab a little more of those of or any calls or any options that you wanted to grab. You could have grabbed leaps and try to see if we go to, remember, all the way up, we have 416 all the way up, and see if the price action makes sense to go all the way. But it might be too far away, because if we go to trade and we go to Tesla and we go to January, these are the prices that, they were around this area, 200 to, I grabbed the 237 for today. So this one, the 237.5. So I'm just right there in the money, even though I was a little far away. But this is the first, contract that I was able to grab. But if we go to January and, before this push, you could have buy at a very good price, something like, look at this. The 260 was at $700, was not that far away. And look at how the open interest on the volume is not that bad. Or even the 270. The 270, it's a 10,000 open interest with 1,000 volume. And look at how huge the 300 is. So there's a lot of people expecting that Tesla is going to go to 300 at the end of the year. And the price was not that bad. So if we go back to our chart and you see how far away it's 300, well, it's right here. We're not that far away. Is it possible? Well, we need to break this, sort of price block that we're trading right now before going there. But probably you got paid on this little push that we had right now. Sorry about that. So one of the things that I wanted to see is, with the expectation that you are at the support, sorry, that's where you need to think and do these bigger time frames and zoom out and see, well, you would have bought, shares here, and it was a great buy because you had you could just set up a stop loss at 205, and you were out maybe tomorrow morning or whatever happened if you were at this trade, and maybe add up because they're shares. But if not, you could have just buy it right now and try to add every time that you have a little pushback, and try to see if we go to 400. And this will be like $100, 100% trade if we go to 400 out of the 213. That's a great trade. And if you were buying and being a little more, risk, try to buy those call options for further time, not like I did. I just did one for fun. Was just, grabbing maybe something for 2 weeks ahead and try to see if we go outside here. And if not, if tomorrow we keep pumping, because we've seen Tesla, going all the way to these rejection points, you could have just sold it here and make a good profit out of it. Remember, we don't encourage to play earnings because we don't know what really is going to happen. We know some of the information. We know that he's been involved in politics, that he's been all around, but we don't know how the company is going to perform and what they're going to announce for the future. Remember, the growth for the future, their expectations of growing, their expectations of how many cars they're going to deliver. Those are key factors that are going to influence how the price action is going to move and how the market is going to react on that company. So those things are things that we need to be very careful before entering any new position. But for today, I just wanted to show you like how to search for these, support points, and how you can do it from the bigger time frame on where to get in. Do I care right now, like what happened in the 5 minutes that much? Well, not really. If I was looking for where was the best point for an entry. So you can go a little bit further, and zoom in for the 1 hour. And in the 1 hour, I'm going to grab a little more time. And if I grab, let's grab 90 days. So I got 3 months here. And I can move this around a little bit. It's gonna let me, okay. So you see how here we can see a little more clear how we touched once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times at 213.61, give it or take. And then from there we have the big push. What do I want to see on Tesla tomorrow? I need to see Tesla holding 234.91, or if I zoom to the 5 minutes, I need to see, let me just take this off. I need to see Tesla holding above my daily 20 SMA. That's going to be my key point of support. That's the indicator that I use. That's the one that it's telling me every time that I see either rejection of one of these daily SMAs. For me, it's my my inflection points. If I see these coming back, I'm gonna try to trade it all the way back to the 50 maybe, or maybe to the 100. Or if I see support and very strong support above any of these areas, I can expect that we might be, there's the opportunity to go higher. And I won't be kind of surprised, or I won't be afraid, that's a better word, to get into more new long trades and new longer calls, because it's at my very important point right here. And what I do is I will set up based on whatever price action happened here, I will set up my stop loss at, you can set it up at whatever it's good for you. Normally I take between 15% and 20. Normally I draw a line at the 10% just to be aware that I'm down 10% and visually where I need to seek for my hard, non-negotiable exit. But once, we are overextended at the moment just because of this push, all of these indicators are gonna adjust for tomorrow price action, and from there we'll see, what we can expect. So after having Tesla, and I don't want to, have the whole day in Tesla, I want to see what the QQQ did. Look at where, just out of, coincidence, what is my blue line? That's a daily 20 SMA. Where do we broke down and look, for further downs, and where do we jump back in? Look at where we hold and where all this huge bounce that we had on the Qs, and look at where we're bouncing. Look at where we're holding. Is it coincidence that it's that, daily 20 SMA? I like that the charting and the technical charting is very good, and just happened to, to match that 489.43, but look at how perfect this is. So same story tomorrow, guys. What am I gonna look for? Well, I want to see a hold of this 20 daily SMA for tomorrow, and if I see that hold, I probably gonna try to grab some Qs to see if we go high. Why am I talking about the Qs? Well, because the Qs are influenced whatever happened with Tesla today, because it's part of the technological ETF that includes part of Tesla. So I'm not gonna be surprised if on the pre-market after here we might see a little jump. But this was a beautiful level to grab some calls and try to get out at here, or maybe swing some of these Qs. If I go to the NQ and see what the future, how it behaved after this, it's gonna be a little bit more. It's gonna look like, well, it's gonna look exactly like the Qs, and look at where the 20 daily SMA is, and I just happen to have it below the price action. So I will take a very deep look tomorrow and see how how this is interacting with my resistance points here, and if we resist it and go down, or if we're going to try to trade above this. But all of that I'm going to know it on the pre-market. So that's why it's very interesting to see it on the bigger time frame, because look where we are. If I go here on the clean format, you see how, like, this was the perfect if you wanted to grab Qs for longer time frames. And right now we are not at the best point, just to call it that way. I'm in 180 days. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. So if I want to do some channels and I want to do something like this, I might want to say that this was a sort of a channel here. Then we went down like this. And now I zoom in and I screw it up. Sorry about that. And then from here, we might be somewhere around this area, maybe. So we're here around this area. And if this drawing is accurate, and I'm trying to see where the more repeated points of contact are. Remember, 2 points of contact are good, 3 points of contact, it's great. And when I have my 3 points of contact, that if I'm trading around here, I can zoom into the 1 hour. And where are we? Well, this is what I'm trying to see if I want to trade on the longer term. I want to try to search if there's the possibility that we go from here all the way somewhere to this upper level. Of course, that I'm going to have some, horizontal levels like here that you got to be aware. But my ultimate goal, I'm going to have one here. My ultimate goal is going to be trade above the 20-day SMA, try to go to 2683, and then from there, try to go all the way up. So that's that's how I can go to further contracts and try to buy, let's see if I got 90 days here. And let's see if I can squeeze this here. And I gotta be careful with this point here and these 2 points here. So if I go here and I take this down a bit, these are, the next levels that I'm gonna try to see if I can trade up in the future, in the near future. I'm not going to say that it's going to take the whole year, but these are the points that I'd like to see if I can go. So my key point is going to be a whole of the 20-day SMA, and they're trying to go to my first, trim level. And from here, I might hold, if we go all the way up. And how long do you think this is going to take? Because we're talking about the NQ. I mean, this can take months. Am I going to take a weekly for this? Well, I might take a weekly for a little move around this area, but all the way to this price action here, not really, right? So here's where you can start playing around, guys, with further levels on the days that you would like to trade. So you might take a November, somewhere around that area that we're not that far away. And from here, of course, we're talking about NQ, and this is going to be, the prices are going to be huge. But let's call about the QQQ. And if you are talking about the QQQ and it said it's December 31st, and we're trying to have that push, you can find contracts, like from here with, this is $1,400 for a 497, $1,400 for a 497. How far away is my 497? Well, 497 is right here, and we've been there touching all that. So is it $1,400 for a contract for the end of next month too expensive for for if I see all this move here? I think it's worth it. Of course, we have to respect the size of your port and the expectations, but the idea is that we're probably going to be able to double that if we go all the way from here to here. And if we go a little further, that's going to be around $2,000 on gains plus your $1,400. So I think that's a great price reward. And one of the ways that we can do that is just by selecting, as usual, this is going to be my first trim, and then I can set up maybe, I don't know, how many points do you want to, let's see, I'm going to go for the 15 minutes, and I'm going to zoom in just to check where my price, where my stop loss should be. I'll say that somewhere around this area here. So I'm going to go and say that my stop loss is going to be at this level. And this is one way that I can see how I can prepare myself for a trade that is going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to color it, guys, today, because from this setup that I have, if I put the green here and the red, my charts get all crazy. But do you get the idea how from the 4 hours we can look and try to see where we are? We're in an ideal spot to buy. I mean, of course, if you were able to buy here today and you were fast enough to buy, this was an amazing bounce play all the way here. But if you were not able to or fast enough to do it, which indicator do you use to get into this play? Well, for me, I love to see that how it's right at the 20 daily SMA and it's holding. And if I go to the 1 hour, even better. Look at how beautiful this is. It's holding there. And now, depending on what happened in the pre-market, it's going to tell me, am I going to go, it's the opportunity going to present to go all the way here, or am I going to take the risk or not? Well, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to see it for tomorrow. So, but the idea, guys, is how normally you always need to go like, this is my setup. As I always say, my setup always has a bigger time frame between the 1 hour and a half on the half hour on this side, because I want to know where the price action, where I'm trying to trade. Whereas when on the right side, I go to read more the candlestick action and the levels. And here, as you can see, I use the Bollinger Bands to guide myself where to enter, where to exit, and the Bollinger ones only, every time that you are the best and fastest way to know how to use the Bollinger Bands is whenever you are outside the Bollinger Band, you are oversold or overbought. That's always an entry. Normally, when you're outside, look at here, you go inside up, and then you go to the other band. When you are on the upper side, and you go to the other band. And other thing that you need to know about the Bollinger Bands is the wider they are, like one from another one, that's more volatility there is. But if they are compressing, like they're doing here, this is price action that it's really doing a consolidation. And what are we looking to happen here? We are looking that this thing is going to pop tomorrow. And my expectation here, guys, is that the Qs after today's Tesla price action, they're going to pop back to 494 at least. That's my expectation. The confirmation of this can happen that maybe on the pre-market, this thing is going to move and it's not going to give me the chance to get where I want to get in, because the best entries are at 489, like at this support, or above 491, like above this level, to try to go to 494. But my assumption is that this thing is going to go higher at the pre-market and it's not going to leave us too much room to trade. That's my assumption. But hey, let's see how this develops, how Tesla, we have seen so many crazy moves on Tesla that any info that goes outside in the morning can right before the 5 minutes before opening anything can happen. So I'm just gonna wait, sit tight, and see what's gonna happen. Any questions until here so far? Do you get the idea on why I wanted to talk on how to look? And Viral here, guys, is a guy that know how to set up, how to use these setups on the lower time frame. And now look at how funny, like I always like to go to this is my clean setup. This is where you see only my basic levels. This is where, that's the ultimate goal, to go here, from here, and then from here, try to reach, if tomorrow we have a continuation on the pre-market, this is going to be my ultimate goal for tomorrow, 251. This is where I see, what do I want to see tomorrow? I would love to see this coming back to 234 or around this area and then bounce. And if we got a little pullback, that's going to be my entry. If all the time, I mean, since every time that we hold above 235, you can call it, I'll be a buyer to try to go, a little higher. But if I'm below my 20 daily, I will try to see if it might go, at least until my 50. It's going to be my first trim. That's going to be for sure. We're going to have some bounces here for sure. Always happen. And the other thing is Apple. Look at what Apple did today. Apple was on the 4 hours, and I'm gonna use my clean setup. these are levels that we draw, I don't know how many classes, I know, before, and we're doing, I haven't touched this. Look at the range that is happening here. And I'm just gonna, let's put it a little bit thinner because it's more annoying this to be at 4. I'm just gonna put it at 2 on the width of the levels. There we go. Look at how I haven't touched these from at least a month. And look at how we are respecting exactly my longer term levels and ranges. This is where we're supposed to trade, you know, this is where we were trading and, you know, in a range, trading sideways, and all of a sudden we broke down today. This is where we needed to be above, and look at where we resisted, where this is the support. The support was the same as this resistance from before. So if I go like what the idea is that if I bought here shares and anything like that, that was perfect. Here, if depending on the tomorrow price action, if we don't break anything further down, this is a great entry again to try to go back to 233. And that's a good, you know, that's a good move for Apple. And even try to go back to be above 233 and hold again on any of this level. Of course, all of this, it's easy to say right now, but it's gonna be key how the price action it's gonna develop. But if I go a little further, let's go to the 30 minutes. Look at where are we holding again? Above 20 daily SMA. I love that. Look at the bounce that we had here on the above the 20. We touched it and now we're holding again. And the idea is for me, if I see it on the pre-market going again higher, it's gonna go up. So talking about the longer term, because that's what the class is supposed to be, right? So if I see the 4 hours trading here, and if I go to the daily, this is, you know, 237. I need the daily I grabbed. Let's go 5 years. Where are we? We are at, I think, all-time highs for Apple. All-time highs. Look at how it's been just going up, 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 and up. What do we need to do here? We need to be very careful. Like above 237, if this is all-time highs, it's unknown territory. We have no clue what's going to happen and how it's going to develop that if we keep pushing up. We have that when we went to 197, when we first broke to 200, and now we are continuously coming back to the 230s. From here on, it's where you need to be careful either with your longer positions. I have shares. So every time that I see a pullback, I add some more shares and I average my position to see. I think Apple, it's as a lot of traders say, it's a name to keep and not to trade it that often. I like to trade it because I like the moves and I keep a close attention to it. But let's go to the 5 minutes. And look at these are the same levels that we had, I don't know, like I said, a month and a half, even more than a month, because I was a month in Europe. This is like 2 to 3 months ago, and it's respecting it perfectly. And bouncing, and my expectation, go back here and go up. So buy shares every time that you see a dip, you know, like this is a deep buy opportunity. And then if you want to try to go, you know, like for further leaps and, you know, instead you don't have the money to buy the shares, look at this open interest on Apple, like expectations that, you know, people has like 66,000 for a 300, 93,000, and you can grab your, you know, for 250. That's not crazy. For $400 you have 100 shares that if we go further, you can always exercise that contract and buy this for, you know, $400 and get those shares, or just sell them back. And there's a huge volume, huge open interest. So it's always nice to see a little bit ahead, and you can see what the open interest is, you can see what the volume is, and you can get a glimpse of what the expectation of people holding these contracts have. And you can see, like, let's go to January. Like, if we go to January, still look at these open interests, look at these volumes that we're managing on 250 and above. And we are at, price action right now. It's at what, to what? Let me see it here. 230. So price action right now, it's happening right here. Look at, there's big expectation that this thing can go higher. Also, we don't have to know. Keep in mind, there is for open interest, there are 108% chances, or not chances, but 1,000 of people saying that, this thing might go lower a little bit to 200. So it's up and down, but I like the odds that, the market always go up. And if you go to the daily chart, you see how this thing, even though we have little, these retraces, we always keep going higher and higher and higher. So this is one of the things that why I like sometimes to buy longer term contracts. And the idea is that it's a little more relaxed. You can always get, some contracts in any of these pullbacks and just, leave them. Or if you want to have shares, you don't need to buy 100 shares, guys. You can have 10 shares. You can buy 20 shares. You can diversify a small portfolio with 20 shares of different, premium names, and just let them go and keep building that position. Look at Palantir. Look at that, Palantir. What happened? This is the daily. This is from March. We opened at $16 and we're trading right now at 44. You can always buy, great name that it's been going up and up and up. And, right now we're at the top. Every pullback, when we pull back to 36, was a great time to buy more. And it's keep going up. Cost today. Look at cost. Look at these charts. $500 to $900 right now. Isn't it this? I mean, you get the idea. Like normally the market always go up, even though we have these, pushes back when people, panic. The people who knows about the market and everything sells everything, and then they just buy back and do it all over again. These are just market cycles that happen over and over and over again. Let's see, 15 years of cost. Look at Costco was trading at 242. And this is, where are we? On 2020, $200, and we're on $900. So buying shares, it's always a great time, and you don't need to risk it all of the time just buying calls. It's a good time to calls and options it's a great tool to build portfolio. But remember, you're using one of the derivatives that it's the most dangerous and risky of all of the financial tools that we have. And no, this is SPY. Look at SPY, guys. This is for GT3R. Look at this. Look at this. We got this little pullback at 224, and then we never expected to go to 478. We joke and we talked about, on 221 and 2021, like imagine that we go to 500. Can you imagine if we go to whatever, and look at where we are, 586. And here are like on this, these are my short-term levels. Let me go to the 5 minutes. This is what's happening with SPY on the short-term time. Like we were trading and consolidating here. We broke today, and then we broke and pushed back again on top of the 20 daily SMA, and we're holding here. And look at this little push here. I expect, as I said, I think Apple can help a lot of the market try to go a little more, push back on some of these prices to go where we were consolidating, and we'll see what's going to happen from here, because this is all-time highs for SPY and unknown territory. So we got to trade with care, but like we say the same when we were at 500 or at 484, and they say like, am I going to buy here? Am I going to, like, yeah, you got to buy, but you got to buy in a pullback and then see if we have new all-time highs and trim with care. And be very careful with that. And then if you were buying shares, since we were trading at the 300 or 200 level, well, you bank and just keep those shares until you think they're not, you can just move to another name. Because that's another thing, guys. We don't need to keep shares or a big position for your whole life. And sometimes there are people like, look at Warren Buffett. He had Apple and Bank of America, and he sold a good share. Why? He needed some liquidity for new names. So maybe on these pools like this, he bought Tesla. Maybe he bought, more SPY or anything at a big pullback instead of buying at 586. And when you buy 10 million shares and things like that, it makes a big difference. Every penny that you buy, in discount makes a lot of difference. Let's see. I want to add some leaps in crowd. Let's see what we have here, Viral. This is daily. Okay, this is let me grab time frame. I'm gonna buy 4 years. So here's where we are on. I'm gonna create a new setup here. I'm gonna put a clean one. Yeah. Clean, and here we are. So I'm just gonna go and mark Viral where the bigger and most important timeframes are. So we got levels. We got this, we got these two with respect of where we are right now. So this is where I care to trade right now. Because I don't need to do the whole, all the charts if I'm looking to trade leaps. So we had a previous resistance twice that it was support, a couple of times. We don't need to count them. And now we're right there. So what's the beauty about this? Again, holding the 20. This is a perfect rebound place. This is our friend Viral. He's spot on a lot of longer term names. One way that I like to do my channels always, it's something like this, just to see maybe a little bit better visually where am I? I like to make it a little funky like this. So this way I know where we are. So we're bouncing right here at this level. This is it's a depending on what happened on the pre-market. Remember, we have to, if everything remains the same, like ceteris paribus, and everything remains like where we are right now, this is a great entry because we are almost touching the lower band. We're at this, what it was a previous resistance. It became a support, and now it can bounce. We don't know about this. And if we have any new members here, we're not that many, but out of the 11 people that we are, if we find like these levels, you have to take a leap of faith and believe that either you're gonna bounce or it's gonna go up, and you take your educated guess. My educated guess, after we have this break and we went up and we're higher here and we're resistant, is that we're gonna bounce. And that's where you need to take that risk and then set up your stop loss and see if you were right or not. If I were not right, I might see a bounce at my other channel level. If I see the channel breaking, now I have another whole kind of triangle of opportunity to go from here to here. Let me just see if I can picture this. Like from here to here, of opportunity to go on the downside. So, and that's where I change my mind, like from here to here, to change my mind that this is going to be on a trade on the downside all the way to any of these other levels that we have. But so far, I will find a bounce level tomorrow after the break. And if I go a little further, let's see the 15 minutes. Look at how nice this looks. On the 15 minutes, we are bouncing almost here. I want to see this going a little bit higher. And then if I'm above my 100 daily SMA on the pre-market, it's going to be even better. And the only problem that I have is that I have the 200, but I will try just to grab some calls, see if we hold here and try to go higher. If not, I will trim some at the 200 and leave some runners to go a little further. But if we break the 200, this is free. This is free to go all the way back to wherever it is. Well, these are my levels. If this is free to go above here, it's going to go to 337, and then I will try to see if we go higher. But it looks like a great point to buy. So which contract are we going to take, Viral? Oh, well, that's the next question. How long do I think that this thing is gonna go back. Like this took probably a couple of weeks, and then this was a fast move downward. I mean, this was huge from going from 398 to here, and the break started on the July 16, and it ended up on August 8. So it was not even a month that we went all the way down here, and now from August 2nd until the 23rd of September, October, we're trying to go back to here. So it took 2 months. As always, guys, elevator down, stairs up. Stairs step up. It took 2 months to go here. So if I want to see it somewhere around here, let's say 2-3 months, March, April 2025. Let's see, what do we got? March. Well, the only contracts that I like here are the 330 or the 320 for 21 of March. Let's see February, just in case. February 320s. They have a good, of course, guys, remember, this is not for every port. This is 2,300 bucks for a contract because we're grabbing time. Remember, the more time we grab, the more that it's gonna be, the more expensive that it's gonna be. But maybe I don't know, the 360 looks a little far away for 1,800 bucks. The price is not bad, but it's, you know, half the price of the 310, but it needs to go 50 more points. So you know what, I'm gonna see December. You see, I like December better. Viral, the 350 or the 1,200 bucks for the 330. I don't mind about December. This is December, the week of the 24th, or it's almost the end of December. I like this contract, the 330. So this is just an idea, guys. But this is how you choose, you know, and you need to, every time that you need to choose contracts for leaps or bigger term swings. You need to know your levels, because you need to know which contracts are you taking, and if it's even possible that it's gonna go there. Because I can grab on the 17th of April of next year a 580, 460 bucks, because that's what, you know, my port can afford. Is that real? Is that even, you know, does it make any sense that I'm gonna do that for 560? Well, where is 560? It's right here. Have we ever been there? No. Is it that far away? Can it happen? Well, under incredible circumstances and, you know, news or whatever, it can. I mean, everything's possible. Assume that all the gains are in reality infinite. The gains, the losses that we set buying calls are set to, you know, the time frame of the price action and the premium that you pay. But the wins, if you buy it for enough time and it goes all the way up, they're infinite. So yeah, it can happen, but it's very, you know, not really a possibility. So try to find contracts that have previous price action, and, you know, that where we might go back in a specific time frame that it's a little bit more of a reality. Don't go just too far away in the money, because that's what you can pay. That doesn't make any sense. Don't grab those. The only kind of fooling around that you can do with that, it's like, you know, like earnings, like I did. I bought one a little bit far of the money, see if it goes, and you're, you know, if you're green at the end of the day, you are expecting that that thing is gonna, you know, make some money and go on to the next one. What am I expecting to Tesla for tomorrow? That Tesla is gonna keep going higher, and then from there I might grab something new tomorrow. So I'm gonna be expecting the news to, you know, from Tesla to hold around this area and then keep going up. And that's where I'm gonna enter some new or heavier position, but not for earnings, because I don't want to lose any money. How do you like that, Viral? Do you think December it's good, or you prefer still buying a more expensive contract for January? What else do we got here, guys? Any other
I
names?
think my point is regarding this crowd strike, there is a too much theta that will catch really quick. If the market will go down in upcoming weeks, then the theta will catch, and then it's really hard to average down with this particular stock. So that's why I was like to go for February, March, by the time, and even if required to add like 3, 4 cons, that would be more easy with the time. December will take the theta so quick.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, your logic, it's on point. But it has to be adjusted to your port size. If
Yeah.
your port size can afford to go into that position, it sounds pretty good. I mean, and the big help that you have with that is it's gonna give you enough time to maneuver whatever happened on the market, that you can add some more, you can trim some. That's one of the magics of having further, like longer term contracts, is they're not gonna be as volatile as your shorter term, and you have some time to maneuver and to buy more contracts to adjust. Or if you have, you're okay with the profits that you're having, and then you want to take them, you can always take them. You're not by any mean of obligation to go all the way until the end of the date of that contract, unless you want to, maybe exercise that contract. And then if you are in the money, deep in the money, you can always exercise the contract and just, buy those shares, and, you're building up your position. And that's another way on how you can start doing your build up your longer term port. Gabriel, I had many trades where I hit my stop loss and I get out. And since I'm trading with a small account and starting out of the 10 to 20% stop loss on a single trade. And for example, today I had 4 trades where my stop loss and I then fell right after the trade turns back into my favor. That's for a short time frame. And then landed back to my favor and it bounced back. How can I be able to identify the trader that's gonna be back to my favor on longer term frame? Sorry if I already answered that question. No, got disconnected to you. Gabriel, we don't like that's sort of a magic that every trader tries to find. Like you're not by yourself. Like most of the traders, when we use stop losses, most of the traders, we get stopped out of a trade before it's gonna work. Sometimes if you are more open to be more have your exposure to more risk, you might be able to expand your stop loss to 25% and see if there is more time to move it a little bit more, depending if you see the price action going into your favor. But the quicker answer for that is that you get stopped out and then you see it, that the play it's working. The best way is just to jump back in and re-enter it. That's the simple answer. I have endless trades where the magic thing about the stop loss is that it protects you, that it's not gonna flush completely out, because those trades that you were trying to get today, you got stopped out and then they work. But what if they had a move like Apple did, or what if SPY did, or what Meta did, that they just flushed like $20? You're in deep, in a deep red there. So if that happens, you were covered and you can react fast and then buy puts. But if you were expecting that you were going higher, so you have 2 things that you can work on. Maybe, increase your percentage of stop loss to try to be able to give some air to that price action to move, because if that happens, is because there's volatility. And I hope that you're not talking about SPX, because if you're doing that in SPX, that's not the name to use stop loss or anything like that. SPX, you just buy it when you are in a one movement and you get out. You don't hold it for too long, or unless the move, it has a big momentum. But if you have any other name, if you see that you got stopped out and then it moved your way, you can always chase it a little bit. Remember, you don't need to be the first one and snipe it right where it was the premium point at the end of it. if you see that your contract got stopped out, but the move it's happening the way you expected it, don't be afraid to jump back in. And just be aware where your stop loss is going to be there for the second time. And if it does, if it stops you out, okay, that's it. You got your confirmation, and then you move to another name. But if not, you can just let it, run and see what's going to happen. But it's not easy to identify which trades are going to go back to your favor or not, because remember, today, I don't even know what happened today, why the market flushed. I don't know if it was because of data, because of sometimes one name goes after the other one. And I won't be surprised to see these coming back up tomorrow. And so, some people were in bigger time for and bigger plays and bigger positions, and then they sold everything because they saw this move, and then they were on a great position, and then they sold it because we had one day that we went down, I don't know what was it, 0.5% or something like that, out of that market has been pushing for the whole year. So always go back, like this is SPY, for example. We had a big flush. Yes, we had a big flush in respect of the last week. If we go to the daily, is this a big flush? Not really. That's a little pullback again to the 20 daily. And you see, pull back to the 20, pull back to the 20, and we might just jump back up, and maybe we might see fresh new highs. So I hope this answered your question, but next time try to get a better entry. Well, Kevin, we try. We don't have, none of us have a perfect entry. We try sometimes, and we get scared. That happens to everyone, and a lot of times. The thing is we need to react fast. I got it stopped out, and the plate's working. Let me just go back in and try it again because it's working, and let me be more flexible with my stop loss. That's it. And then if you got stopped out and you see that it's going the other way, be fast enough and try to play where the momentum is going. Oh, we're flushing. Let me just go buy puts. But remember, why are you buying it? Just because you got stopped out, or because there is a momentum on the market coming down? You got to be very careful that you're not falling into trying to buy each candle up and down, up and down, up and down, because that's gonna burn your port in. You won't see how fast that's gonna port. So always don't get stuck into the 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Go to the bigger time frame, see where you are. Are we really flushing? Like today here, SPY. Oh yeah, we are flushing. This was a little bounce. Was it, convenient enough? No, this was not. We needed to wait for the pullback. This was a test and retest of this, 580, and then we flush all the way here. This was the play of the day. I didn't play on the way down. I waited for the bounce, and I played from here to here, and I left a runner only. But my play was waiting for a bounce, and I was waiting for the bounce at the 20. And when it went down, I'm like, oh, geez. But when I saw the bounce here, I grabbed it kind of like in here, and I grabbed a little for 575 to 578, I think. And I did not have the full move. I just wanted to have a piece of a move where I'm sure that I'm going to take, it's going to go my way. I can profit. I can be out successfully, and I'm green. That's it. So yeah, what Kevin says, patience and fast, not to be stuck to and bias, react with that actually happening, not what you want to happen. Yeah, remember guys, we don't know what's going to happen. We react to what the price action is doing. So we need to be fast on reacting where the price action is, but we don't need, like, if I go like this, and I go like this, I'm going to get crazy because I don't know, each candle is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So this is great to know. Okay, look at how 574.42 was a perfect touch and we bounced back. But I just want to see how my candle action it's doing here. But am I going to make bigger decisions here? No. Well, I know that, on my TTM squeeze, we moved up, we're going higher. And my RSI, it's going higher, but I'm here right now. I'm overbought on my RSI. I need to get out of somewhere here. I cannot, I cannot wait to these things to go out. So I need to make decisions. How do I make a decision? I go to the 30 minutes. Where am I? So, okay, I'm looking that I'm touching. Where am I? I'm touching somewhere here. Oh yeah, I'm touching like further. This was a previous resistance that we revisited. Look at here, support. It was a previous resistance that it became support, and support. Okay, I'm out of here. And then when I'm buying, this is previous resistance that it became, previous support that it became resistance, I'm out. So always, this is a trend that is always going to repeat, guys. Previous supports become resistance, and then previous resistance become support. We just need to go to the bigger time frames and then zoom in and zoom out to be aware where we are. And with that, I'm gonna take any questions that you have, guys. And if you have any questions, because we are not that many, I'll be done. I'm not gonna take more of your night. I hope that this was a little helpful on how to locate yourself on the bigger time frame and where we take our trades for looking back to those areas of consolidation and try to get back. So Kava, no, let's go to see what Kava is doing. So Kava on the daily is, look at that trade. Look at that beauty, from 29 to 138 on the year. That's only on the year. That's incredible. Let me take a clean. Let's do a clean setup. So clean. Here's where we are. Look at the 20. 20, it broke the 20, touched the 20, bounced the 20, and we are here. So if I go to the 4 hours, touch the 20, and it's here. The 20 cross. This was a big move on the upside, crossed the 50, and now you see how this gap, it's kind of, narrowing again. So you got to be careful that we might be in a plateau sort of move on these price actions. So I'll be very careful because depending on what the price action happens tomorrow and how it develops, you got to be careful if we go up or down, or if these things can be maybe consolidating for another big move. As you can see, we are always consolidating, and then we have a little breakdown and push up. And if you see on the past, like if we go back to the daily, we always have a little period of consolidation and up, consolidation down, up, consolidation, up. We have a gap here. Always got to be careful with those gaps. Normally, technically, gaps tend to be filled, again. So it will be a big drop if we go back to 104, one of these. But if not, just be aware where the price actions here. We are at all-time highs, so we don't know what's going to happen. So we got to be careful. Yeah, Kevin, I got back yesterday night. Yesterday at 10 p.m. I got back to the States, so here we are, back on track. So just be careful with this one. Cookies. I keep an eye on it too, but just be careful because it's kind of, setting this, plateau curve. So be careful. We might have a little pushback, and it's going to be a good entry for it. So keep an eye on it. Microsoft. Thank you, Kevin. Microsoft, I'm going to go to a clean setup. Here we go. These are the most important levels that we have right now. And this is the daily for Microsoft from 324 to 400. It's been kind of a laggard. Excuse me. We have this cup, this sort of, you see this shoulder, head, and shoulder. So I'll be careful with what Microsoft is going to be. We probably is going to depend on news. We've been rejecting this level here, and we need to go higher. So we need to go above 432.12 to try to go back to 468. But it's not. Look at how all these daily SMAs have been going up and down. So the price action here has been volatile for short time frame trade. But for the bigger, for longer trades, I don't love it. It would be great that if we try to go to 467, but I'm not in love with how the price action is. We have earnings for this thing they're going to come the 30th of the month. So let's keep an eye on it. See if we kind of go above 443 and see, and it's going to be key if we have any news involving Microsoft for earnings. So since we are at the 23rd, let's keep an eye on it, see what happens and where we go from there. If we go down, there is going to be a good time to buy for longer term. And if we go up, let's see where the next levels are if you're not involved in any trades yet. All right, guys, thank you for the company. I hope this was useful. Remember, I'm always open for DMs if you have any questions or if you want any trade or you need any help. Just let me know. I'm back in the States. I'm back online with my setup, and let's make some money for the rest of the year. Okay. Have a great night. Thank you for your time, and see you tomorrow.